So 9:30 then, if one of your New Year's resolutions is the promise to get fit, then how do you make it happen? How easy is it to start exercising, particularly if it's been a while? Is it ever too late? I'm joined by George Turner from Emsworth, who was a Royal Navy physical training instructor for 15 years. He's now a personal trainer and trains clients all over Havant and Hayling Island. Morning, George.
Good morning.
Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year to you.
Now, where to start with this? I suppose if you were looking at the most common New Year's resolutions, one would be to lose weight, the other would be to get fit, and I suppose both of those areas is where somebody like you comes in.
That's it, definitely. I have a lot of clients. Last year, January was one of the busiest months I had from lots of people in the same boat, wanting to get fit, wanting to change their lifestyle, and I was at hand to give them the advice and experience and guide them through to reach their goals.
Now, we were talking about an hour ago with a life coach, and I was saying about this problem that people have when they're attacking their New Year's resolutions. They either go in totally unprepared, or they're one of these people who kind of hoards preparation. So the people who will go, this is the year I'm going to get fit, and they'll go out and they'll buy new trainers, new socks, new shorts, new T-shirts, all this kind of stuff, but never actually get around to doing anything. It must be very difficult if you've not exercised for a while, knowing where to start.
Well, that's it. It's a case of having all the gear with no idea. And so, I mean, nowadays there are lots of different areas where you can go and look and find the advice that you need. The internet is has a vast array of advice. There's people like me all around, the country that will help you and advise you. I think the first thing you need to do is to decide, what do you want to achieve? Set some goals. Decide, right, okay, I want to get fit. Why do you want to get fit? And that's going to help you along the way.
It must be quite difficult, though, because it must be quite embarrassing for some people to come to you and say the reasons that they want to get fit. People maybe have in their heads, 15-inch biceps, or a 28-inch waist, or whatever, and to actually come out and say, you know what I'd really like to do? I would like to have a body like this man or this woman. And, presumably you have to be quite generous with not laughing.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's something that I've learned, and I think it's a case of sitting down with them and setting out realistic goals. I usually give them a few ideas to start with, and it gets the ball rolling.
What do you mean? What kind of thing would you say then?
Well, you look at somebody, depending on how fit they are, if their fitness is really, really low, then we just say, right, okay then, well, let's just say in the next 2 weeks, we are going to run half a mile.
Right.
Okay, that's where we start. When we get to that point, if we achieve that, we can then say, right, well, let's set another goal. Okay, you've now run half a mile. Let's see if we can push to that mile.
So it's almost not a case of making a resolution for the whole new year. It's making a resolution, a general resolution, which you will accomplish in minor steps.
Yeah, you set little goals, little steps, and then the progression starts from there. And then what usually happens, and what I found with all my clients, is they get to a certain point where, I hate to say it, they don't need me. They get the motivation, and they go, well, do you know what? I can go out and run.
Right.
I've got one guy climbing up Kilimanjaro, I think, as we speak. And when we first started, he couldn't run half a mile. Next thing you know, he's out there on his own. He'll send me a text, I'm out running today, or I can follow him. I've got various ways of following him. And
this is a thorough service. This implanted chip in his heel or something.
Definitely. Well, it's funny in Emsworth. Lots of clients and people talk, and it's great. Yeah. They say they've seen him out running, and he's doing this and he's doing that. So it always gets back to me, and it's good that they get the motivation and drive. And that's something that I think I pride myself on, is being able to give somebody that motivation to go out and do it themselves.
You're preaching to the converted a little bit here, because I'm a keen runner.
Yeah.
I've always loved running. I've been, certainly since about the age of 18, I've been quite lucky in that regard. But there'll be people listening who go, I've tried running, I don't like it doesn't work for me, I get bored, or too easily distracted, or I tire too quickly. And presumably quite a lot of the challenge of fitness is finding something that ticks your boxes, something that you enjoy.
That's right. You've got to find that happy medium where you are happy doing that various thing. Fitness, you can't make fitness a chore. If it becomes a chore, a good percentage fall at the first hurdle. They get to that, they've got all the kit, they go out there, they start the running and go, do you know what, I don't like this. Find something you like. Another handy hint is to find a training buddy. find someone that's got the same goals as you have. You can set the goals together then, sit down and say, well, look, I want to drop a dress size, or I want to get fit, I want to run the Great South Run this year, or I want to do this challenge. And then you can say, well, let's do this challenge together and make it fun. And then hopefully throughout the course of the year, you get fitter. You can then decide, well, I don't really like running. Well, okay, then let's do something. Let's do a run. Let's see if we can conquer that fear. Because sometimes people, it's the fear of the unknown. Oh, I don't like running. Well, have you run?
Is there an easy way of trying to find out what the sport, what the fitness, what the exercise thing might be for you, or do you have to kind of suck it and see and just try different things?
I think it's going out there and trying those things, and there are plenty of places where you can go and give it a go. If it's not for you, signing up to a gym can be very costly, very expensive, but there are plenty of organisations where they'll let you go and try for free. All the classes I do, the first session is free. You come down, give it a go, because the sessions that I do are not for everybody. It's
and these are military kind of style fitness ones.
That's correct. I like to combine a lot of different areas of the fitness into one. So you might do a little bit of circuit training, but then you might be carrying a log. You might be, running with a big rope, or dragging a tyre. Some people really respond to that. Then there's others that think, oh, that's not really for me, but then they might like another element of what I do. So I think you've just got to go out there, try it. If you don't like it, find something else.
I've always find that kind of fitness just messes with my brain. I used to train with a guy when I lived in the Northeast, and he had grown up in California, and he'd sort of lifted weights on these basketball courts, and he'd have me with a broom handle and just exercising with a broom handle till tears streaming down. My brain's going, it's a broom handle, I can lift this up.
I've had groups hitting tractor tyres with sledgehammers. And they look at you and they think, I can't do that. And then you go, here you go. And then you start. And it's when they finish, they leave buzzing. They feel that they've achieved something. They go home, they tell their husbands, their wives, I've been smashing a tractor tyre with a sledgehammer.
Well, that was my final question to you, actually. This idea, and I know this from my running experience, where you look out the window and it's a miserable day and you think, I don't want to go. And then you go and you feel amazing at the end. And is there a way of kind of bottling that feeling so that the next time you are struggling to get up off your bum and get out and do something, you can remember how good you felt at the end of a tractor tyre smashing session or a run or whatever?
I think sometimes recording things will help you. Having a training log, and I do this with all my personal training clients. We have a log, and whether I write a smiley face at the end of it, I can say, look, this is what we did last time. Okay, it was raining, it was muddy, but you got out there and you got amongst it. Having that training partner that can say, do you remember how we felt at the end of that session? Come on, let's get out there and do it.
Good stuff. George, it's lovely to see you this morning.
Thanks very much.
George Turner is a Director of Innovations Fitness and also a personal trainer in Emsworth.